Hello, my name's Julie. Welcome to my channel. Thanks so much for joining me for today's video where I'm going to be talking about my one little word for 2023. Here we have my one little word for 2022. If you're a new planner, you may be wondering what one little word is. It was started by a lady called Ali Edwards some years ago and has been taken on board by the planning community as a way of focusing on your main goals and aspirations for the year ahead. I suppose it's a little bit like making New Year's resolutions, except I don't know about you, but I often break those quite quickly. Whereas this concept gives me a word to focus on and motivate me for the whole year. I started it in 2021. Here is my 2021 word for the year, which as you can see was words for the year. There aren't any rules. I couldn't decide between these two words, so I had both of them. As a bit of a procrastinator, I wanted to make sure that I prioritised, but I also wanted to make progress towards my priorities rather than just listing them and not doing anything about them. I wanted to be able to measure the progress I'd made throughout the year. On this page, I just put a little definition of the two words and some little prompts to remind me of what I needed to do every day. I had mixed success with these words, but overall I did make progress, so I felt reasonably satisfied, but as always, I knew I could do better. Last year, I had the word balance. I made this sheet up on the computer and then added some alphabet letters and some beautiful Live Love Posh stickers. Again, I included the definition of the word, and I particularly felt that things in my life were a little bit out of proportion. So I drew up these little scales and wrote some ideas of what I'd like to be doing less of in 2022 and what I'd like to be doing more of. I did feel that this was a good word for me for the year, and again, I made progress in many areas. I had been planning to do videos at various points through the year to show my progress, but unfortunately it didn't happen. But I would say it's important to keep that word in your mind, keep revisiting it, and it's also good not just to have the word, but to draw up some action steps for how you might achieve it throughout the year. So enough talking about the past. I'm really excited to be creating my page for my new word for 2023. I don't know if it's a clue, but I'm going to be using these large letters from Happy Planner that I got hold of recently because they seemed very apt with the word that I've chosen. And no, it's not sparkle or shine. I'm just going to use a piece of dot grid paper. My word for this year is a hard one, change. So I'm just going to pop the letters down using the old ruler trick. I might just want to put them a little bit lower. I've tried not to watch other people's videos, and I don't know if this is a word that's going to be cropping up in many people's word of the years, but this is the one that spoke to me. Apologies if it has a bit of a glare because of these foil letters. I'm just going to draw a little outline around it with a pencil. I may add a definition at the bottom, or I may just leave it like that. I'm not sure yet. When I was thinking about what I wanted my word to be, this was the very first word that popped into my mind. And then later I decided I would look at a list just to see what other words I could choose from. And I went through a very big list that I found just on a Google search, and none of them appealed to me at all. None of them spoke to me. I just kept coming back to this word. I was a little bit anxious about choosing this word. I've got elderly parents and I don't want any changes coming up this year to surprise me, but as this is the word that spoke to me, I'm going to go with it for this year. When I thought about decorating the page, I had the idea of the seasons. The seasons change. I did also think about butterflies, but decided to go with the seasons. Seasons change and there's nothing we can do about it, and we should just embrace it, and change is good. It can be hard, but it's good. So I thought I would section this off into 4 and then decorate each part with one of the seasons. I'm going to use stickers from Live Love Posh because I've not used any of Jessica's stickers for quite a while in my spreads, and I've got books for each of the seasons. So I'm going to start with winter and these beautiful pink florals. I don't know how well this is going to work because the only time I've mixed florals is in a rainbow spread, but I thought I would give it a try. One of the reasons that I chose this word was because I think ever since the pandemic, COVID, I feel that normal life stopped for quite a long time. I know some people were quicker to get back to normal life than others. It took me probably a little bit longer than most. We started the year with the lockdown, so we sort of started not in a very good place at the start of the year, and it turned out not to be as bad as, obviously. Oh, I've cut my page. There you go. Just a warning not to cut too hard with your craft knife, but it'll be fine. I can stick it on the back, that's fine. What was I saying? Yes, Omicron turned out to not be as bad as people feared, which was good. And some people managed to get back to normal quite quickly. Restrictions were lifted. It took me longer than others. I was still wearing my mask places where other people had stopped, but I was determined to be careful for my parents and for myself. I hadn't heard anything good about COVID, and I knew people who had caught it and a friend who was quite seriously affected by it. So I just wanted to be careful. But of course, it did mean that things that I used to do stopped. And when I look back over the last few years, it does feel like things haven't really gone back to the way they were. I'm sure there are other people who feel it's affected them in a similar way. I did think that this year, once things got better, I'd be seeing more people. That doesn't seem to have happened quite in the way that I'd hoped, although I have been getting out a lot more. So that's one of the things I do feel that I would like to look back at the end of this year and think that there have been some differences in the year, that it's just not the same old, same old. Obviously, I'm not saying that I didn't do anything in 2022. I grew my YouTube channel, which was quite a big thing for me, but I just feel like I would have liked to get out a bit more. Just add some of the little bits I've cut off into the gaps, fill them up. I'm quite an introvert. I would happily stay at home all the time, love my family. I don't have children, but my parents live next door, and obviously I spend a lot of time with them, and time is very precious, particularly when none of us are getting any younger. I'm going to jump into this autumn blooms for autumn, but I know it's good to get out, even though I find it really hard to force myself to go out sometimes. But I'd like to get out and have more experiences. So that's one of the reasons I've picked this word. I just want to see a little bit of change. There are some other things I want to make changes about this year, and like I did last year, I will be making a list of action steps, things that I'm aiming towards that I can keep in mind all throughout the year to motivate me. These stickers seem to be tearing this page, which is a shame. I've not had that happen so much lately with the plain paper, at least. I know it does happen with the pages of my vertical planner. I can't remember if I said, but I looked at the colours in the letters when I was picking the florals. And I'm hoping that it's going to work out okay, despite my cut page. I'm sure it's happened to every planner at one time or another. I don't think any of us find change easy, but I'm sure we all have areas of our life that need a change, and I'm up for the challenge this year. Liking how this is looking so far. And on to my favourite season, which is summer. These stickers are from the Hello Summer book. Maybe this year I'll be able to do a few more videos throughout the year talking about how I'm getting on, like I intended to do last year. This is looking very vibrant, which is nice. I'm going to have to do the punching of the holes, so I've covered them up. Let's just cut those bits off, and then I can use some of these in those little gaps here, hopefully. There's no such thing as a wasted sticker. Always remember, you can use the little pieces that you cut off, particularly if you're doing something like this. Just add that one in there, and I think that's done. Just need to cut that bit off there, nearly forgot that. So just spring to do. Probably my least favourite season for stickers, although definitely not my least favourite for weather, because winter is definitely my least favourite season. I really wanted to bring in some blue on this side because that's the only colour from these letters that I haven't covered yet. So that's why I chose these. So I'd love it if you let me know in the comments section whether you are doing one little word this year and what word you have chosen. It can be really hard to choose. I suppose I've just been blessed that I haven't had to agonise too much about my word. Something's just sprung out every time I've had to choose one, and so far it's been okay. Might as well use this bit here. This is definitely something different that I've not tried doing before. And I'm liking it. Just need a tiny bit more blue, I think. So I will pop this one in here. My scissors are all gummed up now with stickers. Just feels a little bit plain here, so I think I'm going to add some yellow scalloped washi from Happy Planner. Just need to cut these bits here that I've missed. It will just add a little something. I've often said in my videos that adding a little bit of washi can sometimes change the look of a whole page. So if you ever think that something's missing and you haven't added washi, give it a go. I've not made any big changes to my planning lineup this year, just one new planner layout that I've not tried before, which is the Skinny Classic. So I'm going to be interested to see how I get on with that. And you'll be able to see me post some plan with me videos. In fact, I've probably already posted my first one by now. I think this little pop of yellow does make a little bit of a difference. Then I might add a definition, as I said, and then fill in some goals or steps of things that I'm hoping to accomplish or change this year. I'm always using this quote or saying this quote to my dad, so rather than do a definition, I thought I would just write this underneath. It's probably a very famous quote. If you change nothing, nothing will change. And that's by Tony Robbins. Always try to give credit. Hope I've spelled his name right. Just missed this tiny bit in the corner here. I think it's because that's where the rip happened. And we are all finished. Just need to punch the page. It's so pretty and it's reminded me of how much I've missed all the colour of spring and summer spreads. So I take the back off my punch when I'm punching the holes so that I can see where I'm punching. And I line it up. I think that's just about right. And we're all done. I keep it in the front of my planner. This is my catch-all planner for 2023. I nearly said 2022. So I will pop it in there. And as I say, I will be writing some more things on the back and I can add more pages if I need to. I think having it in the front of your planner is a really good place to keep it as a reminder all through the year. Hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and if you haven't done a one little word, there's still plenty of time to get thinking and make yourself a page. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, I'd really love it if you'd join me in 2023. I always post 2 or 3 times a week with plan with me's, planner hauls, special pages and lots of tips and tricks. Hope you have a great week. Happy planning, take care and see you soon.